Welcome back, y'all, to In the Wild for another summer special episode. Joining me, we have two very special guests. And if you are a new student or student coming to campus to visit anytime this summer, you may have seen their faces. They are the director and assistant director for New Student and Family Transitions. So give a warm general welcome to Mark Myers and Natalie Meredith. How's it going, y'all?
Good. How are you doing today, Rayshon?
Great. Excited to have y'all here. Thanks for being here. I know it's a very busy time for y'all with orientation going on. How's orientation this summer?
It's going pretty good. Natalie hit her 1 month and a few days on the 15th, and she jumped right in. And students are, rocking and rolling. I think we're 7 sessions in.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, it'll be 8.
Yeah,
halfway there.
Week. Yeah, over halfway there. Yeah.
For those who are unfamiliar, can you kind of provide an overview of what the Office of New Student and Family Transitions does and how it supports students to transition into college life?
Yeah, so as an office, we kind of have a few things going on. So we fall under Dr. Alexis Pope with the unit of enrollment management under Enrollment and Student Affairs. As an office, we oversee all transition programs. So from the moment a student is confirmed to really the end of their first week in class, they are kind of going through a variety of programs that are offered through our office. Some of these include our new student orientation program, which this year is a 1-day in-person experience for most students, with a few limited virtual orientation sessions for non-traditional students typically. We also have an online welcome program, and that kind of provides the nuts and bolts that students need when they arrive here on campus for their orientation experience. And then we also this summer are doing a Wednesday webinar series to kind of keep parents and students engaged with topics varying from financial aid 101 to where can you go when you study abroad, and things like that. And then this year's new, of course, we have our parent and family orientation experience. And that is something newer to Augusta University. It's pretty common in the field. I know Natalie's worked with a few parent and family orientation programs. And all of that is kind of leading up to Leap Week, though, which is our extended orientation program that is offered the 3 days before classes begin in August. And then a really fun part of our office, we get to work with parents for all 4 years of a student's time here at Augusta University. So we oversee Parent and Family Weekend, we do book clubs with parents, care packages, different types of points for engagement. And new this year, and I think we're going to get into it in a little bit, is our Jags4Jags mentoring program, which is pairing incoming students with a mentor in an upper class or in a professional program or graduate program.
So to make a long story short, y'all are busy for 12 months out of the year.
Yeah.
So as you already know, because we talked about this before, like I'm a former orientation leader here and lead orientation leader. So I was curious to ask, like, from your perspective, what would you say are the key components of a successful new student orientation?
Yeah. Do you want to take?
Yeah, Natalie, you can answer too.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we want our students to take away is having some idea of a resource here on campus. So whether that is going to be their orientation leader that can help get them connected when they get here, or it's just one person here on campus. So when they get here, they know who to go back to when they're having those struggles of, I'm not in the right major, I'm not in the classes I want to be in, this isn't for me, I'm struggling living on campus for the first time alone, whatever it may be. We need them to have that one point of contact that they can go back to, and we can get them those resources that they need, because we have people all over campus that are helping our students. And so if they just know one person after leaving orientation, I think that's a success of that they can find the support and help them transition.
I like that.
Yeah,
That was good.
thank you.
Did you have anything to add on to that?
I think to echo Natalie too, something we lean really heavily on is just we want students to feel a sense of belonging and connection to Augusta University. I think something we both work on a lot is wanting students to be excited to come back and leaving our programs hopefully with a couple more questions. We don't need everyone to answer. We need them to know how to get them answered when they arrive back on campus in the fall.
I guess just bringing back the Jags4Jags program, since that's something new that we're starting. Can you talk a little about the goals and the objectives for this mentorship program?
Yeah. So Natalie's first meeting on campus was actually about the Jags4Jags program.
Okay.
And so we've been working to kind of make sure that's shored up for the fall. But right now we have matching happening. So Jags4Jags is actually the behind the scenes part is this really cool software called Mentor Collective. And this organization provides the platform to track analytics, points for connection, and also this really cool algorithm that helps match mentees with mentors. So our program is really, to Natalie's point, to help incoming students have that person on campus. As you know, as we all know, Augusta University is known for our medical and dental colleges, professional and graduate programs, and so it's a really neat opportunity for an undergraduate student to connect with someone in those areas. These programs are really beneficial too for first generation students or students that are going to be far from home, as well as our local commuter students that may just not know what's what on campus quite yet. Biggest thing with the Jags4Jags program is making sure that we have a robust framework in place to support the whole student. And while I think that Natalie and I are great resources, and we have colleagues in other areas that may be as well, studies show that peer-to-peer mentorship is one of the best ways to ensure a student is fully supported. And so with the Jags4Jags mentoring program, we're really excited about the matches happening right now. I think every day we have, I think one of our student coordinators, Madden, today pulled up new matches, 100 new matches in the last week that have taken place. It is, I'm like, Madden, where are you seeing that? And he's checking the website every day, and I'm like, oh, okay. So our mentors are very invested in the success of the program, which is really great.
Yeah, that's awesome. What has the, I guess, response been like in finding mentors and getting them the, I guess, training and resources that they need to be a mentor to new students? What does that process look like?
Yeah, so we did two launch parties, if you will. One was on our Somerville campus, and that was really pairing students. That was a mentor recruitment event. And then we also had a launch party on the health science campus outside of the Education Commons building. Also recruiting mentors, particularly in graduate programs and professional programs down there. I don't want to give a number of how many mentors we have right now because I feel like it's changing daily, and I did not check before I came in here today. But that's kind of been how we framed it. So Mentor Collective also, though, sends texts out, reminders to complete their application. And then all mentors will go through a 45-minute online training. It's been proven to be some of the best practices. Our OLs that all went through it, they were the first cohort, if you will, to go through that, really enjoyed the training. But then our hope is that Natalie and I will be working with a steering committee and a response team to help provide additional opportunities for mentors to experience different types of professional development, networking events, and things of that nature.
Will the program be with them throughout their whole entire tenure here at the university, or is it just more so a new student experience?
It's a great question, yeah. So right now, a mentor is agreeing to mentor an incoming student for one semester. Ideally, it'd be their whole first year. Now, if that relationship wants to continue beyond that, there's no parameters to that. So the goal would be that mentee would eventually transition into a mentor for another incoming student.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there any specific criteria that goes into the matching? How does the algorithm work?
Yeah, they fill out a questionnaire on both ends, both our mentors and our mentees. And so they look at some commonalities of what they're looking for, whether it be their major, commuting, any interest, if they're going to those professional medicine or dentistry or anything like that, they can be matched with someone in those fields as well. So it's a pretty good matching process to help get them those common interests to help support the student the best that they can.
I'm really looking forward to seeing all of the mentoring happening this fall. But switching gears a little bit to the Parent and Family Association, how does that association kind of contribute to the overall success and satisfaction of students and their families during the transition process?
Yeah. Do you want to speak at all to experience that you've had with parent and family programs beyond here? And I can speak to Augusta specific.
Sure. Every place that I've worked so far has had parents are a big part of our students' experience. And so helping them let the students start to get that independence, that adulthood going, as well as still being there and knowing how to support their students. So that's what we're definitely trying to do with our orientation track right now. That is new this year, of having that parent track for parents and guests to be a part of. And so they are separated from their student throughout the day, which is always a difficult first step, but it's the first step we have to make. And so they are able to get some of those resources and know the ways to best support their students. There are a lot of great sessions here on campus that we have set up for our parents and guests that really help that transition become smoother, and that they are taking that supporter role and letting their students start to, get their own experiences at times.
Yeah, because that's super important, because some students don't get to have that chance yet, so you kind of have to push them a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like the baby bird out of the nest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think something we like to really, to build off what Natalie said, is in higher ed, historically, we have laws in place like FERPA and other things that really do encourage the student to take ownership of their education and their experience. We really, though, that relationship and supportive family structures and other support structures are vital to their success, right? Parents play a huge role in students' decision to go to college, where they're going to go to school. And we, as an office, really want to bring those parents in, and we want to say, hey, there's other ways to get involved. You're able to join our Parent and Family Association. You can join the board that we'll be establishing this fall, and kind of helping to create just another way for them to also feel like they are part of our Augusta University community. I think that as we grow, as the association grows, I'm excited to see different programs we're able to offer. Our office has also been short-staffed up until about, I've been a team of one since last July. So Natalie coming on board this May has been phenomenal. So finally someone to toss ideas back and forth with really cool experience.
Yeah, you get to do all the things now.
Yeah.
Out of new student orientation, Jag4Jags, Parent and Family Association, and this is, I guess, my tough question for the both of you. What would you say gets you the most excited out of all those three?
For me, I would say it's definitely working with our orientation leaders and our staff. I'd say seeing them develop as leaders and creating people that will also help with that transition. It's kind of passing down the knowledge we both have to then our orientation staff and just our family staff that we're having here on campus. And so definitely getting the students involved in helping with that transition and passing that information on to them to then help further in easing our new students' transition.
Yeah. To build off that, I do love working with our student leaders a lot. I think, though, full transparency, one of my favorite parts is a lot of our parent and family programs. I think in higher ed, parent and family programs have existed for decades. It's not a necessarily brand new idea. But I think that we are at a place where we really get to build out some really cool programs and traditions with our Parent and Family Association and our Parent and Family Communication platform, our Jaguar Family Hub, to kind of help, like I said, bring those folks into our campus community and help them to be part of their students' experience.
What new initiatives or enhancements would you like to see for your office for the programs that y'all are doing?
I think definitely building out the Jags4Jags more. This will be our first year with it officially here. So I think, especially as we go into next year, even thinking about seeing our first year, doing that assessment work of what worked well, what improvements do we need to make. And I think that will be a really fun experience to see, great, this was a great idea, and now how can we make it even better?
Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that. Something, Natalie, when we first started, so one thing, anyone that works with our office through orientation right now, gets a survey from me after an orientation day to kind of gather feedback. Students and guests get surveys. Our orientation leader and orientation staff get surveys. And Natalie was like, besides sitting there reading it at 10 o'clock at night, Mark, like, what are you doing with it? And so we've really had a really fun time thinking about, okay, like, yeah, we're collecting a lot of data right now, a lot of feedback, all of it's super helpful. But in the next year, as we think about orientation next summer, what can we add in to make it more interesting? What worked really well? And what, just wasn't the move moving forward. I think overwhelmingly right now, our students, their supporters, our partners are really liking this program. I think one thing that, like, for me and Natalie, and I think those that are there at like 7 a.m., like yourself, every orientation day, like, it's consistent, right? You got it every Tuesday, Thursday, which I love, but it's also like every Tuesday, Thursday, it could be, it's a lot, but it's fun. Yeah.
Definitely reminds me of the days of me having to put on my uniform and being out there and helping out. So I get it. But let's say funding's no object. What would be something that you would add to one of the programs if you could?
Funding was no object. I can't even imagine that. So Texas A&M and a lot of schools have these like really neat like specialty, if you will, like overnight programs. Like Fish Camp allows them to go out to this really cool camp. In addition, like as part of their orientation experience, some schools do like a really big community service option for students. So Natalie and I just this morning were talking about like thinking of like the next couple of years, are we able to build out some like really cool experiences like no other, if you will, that our office would be able to host. But money is an object, unfortunately, at this moment.
Of course. What about you, Natalie?
I do think that would be really cool to start working in some of the like outdoor stuff would be really fun.
Campus Rec, yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot I feel like we could do if money wasn't.
Student development stuff, like imagine all the places you could go.
Yeah, definitely like going to some more conferences or something with like even all our orientation leaders. We take a lot of our coordinators to some things right now, but the whole orientation staff would be fun to take all of them to a conference and let them talk with other orientation staff at other schools would be really cool.
Yeah, our team, we had a time at Shro.
Yeah.
It was fun.
This year was just our student. It was in Tallahassee. I drove down in a Chrysler minivan with our 7 Stucos in the back. They kept making fun of it. They were like, Mark, like, sing oop every time, like I go around a curve or go a little too fast. So, like, we don't like that sound. And I'm like, oop. Yeah.
So since we're in the middle of like orientation season, the traditional question of what advice would you give to an incoming student or their families who are visiting Augusta or the university for the first time?
I'm going to let you kick that one off because you visited Augusta for the first time not too long ago.
Yeah, that's true. My biggest piece of advice.
What first comes to mind?
Yeah, it'd probably be something just of give it time and ask for help. I think that's probably the 2 biggest pieces I would give. We have so many people here on campus that are willing and able to help, but sometimes they don't know you need help until you ask for it. So I think probably just give it some time and know that there are people here.
Yeah, and then download GroupMe before you get here. All the OLs put their students into GroupMes. And I think that's a really neat way to engage with the other students in your group. And also a way to kind of keep connected throughout the summer and once you arrive. They have this new platform this year called Zeme. I'm not super familiar with it, but they really love it, I guess. And so I really, my number one piece of advice would be to connect with all of those types of things and reach out when you need help with something, because we are all super excited to help.
Yeah, I think GroupMe is like an underrated resource. Like when I saw that the orientation leaders were doing that, I was like, this is a genius idea. Like they get to stay like connected the whole entire summer.
Yeah.
And for those who are watching who are interested in maybe becoming a mentor or becoming orientation leader, what would you recommend to them?
For a mentor, go to augusta.edu/mentoring right away and check out the resources we have there. I think for both mentors, though, and orientation leaders, I recommend being like okay with things being awkward sometimes. Dr. Callie here started one of the orientation days when he did the welcome, telling people, "This is awkward, isn't it? It's all awkward." And I'm like, yes, that's the perfect way to like sum up kind of how any orientation or mentorship pairing works out. And if you can lean into that and like push through the awkward, I think it could turn out to be a really neat experience for you.
Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think reaching out will definitely be starting our recruiting process for our orientation leaders for next year pretty soon, actually, in like a month or two. So just stay tuned. We'll have some opportunities for sure for some new people to come and work in our office.
And last question, are there any upcoming events or initiatives that you'd like to plug before we let you go?
Got Leap Week coming up.
You know, Leap Week is coming. Oh my gosh, so soon.
Yeah, it's like a month.
For our parents and guests that are kind of wanting to get engaged, we have Parent and Family Weekend, October 6th to the 8th. Is that right? Your birthday weekend.
Yeah, I know. They're all coming for me.
Yeah. And then also check us out on Instagram, AUG_NewJags. Sam, our intern, does a phenomenal job on there. And yeah, we're in the JSAC right across from the food court. We have tons of resources there for students. We always have some cool swag items laying around, so I always recommend just popping in and saying hi.
Yeah.
Well, thanks y'all so much for being here. For everyone who's watching, feel free to look into all of the resources about mentoring, new student orientation, and Parent and Family Association because these guys are the best at it.
Thank you.